It was the Vietnam War which thrust McCarthy onto the main stage of American politics. Nobody would run against the war in the 1968 presidential primary, so Senator McCarthy felt called. Daughter Mary was instrumental in convincing him to run by arguing, the calling of a Christian is not to judge the world, but to save it.
You play with my world like it's your little toy. You put a gun in my hand.
The war must end because it is not morally justifiable.
The cool voice of reason in the disturbing tumult of those times, he stood to lead a constituency of conscience. It turned into a crusade.
And it fits into our whole campaign thrust, namely of protecting people's rights and beyond that of setting them free. We'll continue that. We'll go on in great things and also in small things to demonstrate our continued belief that there is a certain power in human reason, which is really the only instrument we have with which we can give some direction to life and history.
By the time the campaign reached the convention in Chicago, although he wasn't going to win the nomination, they had succeeded in making resistance to the war respectable, as well as right. Still, it was a war at home.
I learned really how strong the establishment is. Not just the political establishment, but the business establishment. But it's still there, the press and the business community and the political institutions are all geared to the establishment. And when they're really tested, they're all militarists.
I'll give you two Vietnam poems. They're kind of morbid stuff. But it was a kind of a Sam Donaldson question. They always like to say, what would you do right this minute if you were President of the United States? Well, you don't know what you do. You know, you say, well, go to sleep or get up or do something. And I felt rather good. I said, well, and I didn't know this was a poem until Robert Lowell said I'd spoken a poem. So I've fixed it up a little bit since, as you know, we cheat a little bit. But I said, well, I would take our corrugated steel out of the land of thatched huts. And I'd take our tanks and bulldozers out of the land of the water buffalo. And I'd take our flamethrowers and napalm out of a land that scarcely knows the use of matches, and take our helicopters out of a land of colored birds and butterflies, and give you back your small villages and farms, your small and willing women, and trust you to your God, some blind and some many-handed, which I thought was a fair proposition. Yeah. And the other is a Bly conversation. And I don't know, you followed Bly, but you know the story. In the New York Times, in the middle of March in '68, had a story about how two companies of American soldiers had surrounded this group of Viet Cong soldiers, 128, and held them there while they were killed by helicopter fire, which is a complete fabrication of the military. And this is called Bly Conversation. Said, how old are you, small Vietnamese boy? 6 figures, 6 years. Why did you carry water to the soldier now dead? Your father. Your father was enemy of the free world. Who told you to carry water to your father now dead? Your mother. Your mother is also enemy of the free world. You go into the ditch with your mother. American politician has said it's better to kill you in the elephant grass of Vietnam than in the ryegrass of the USA. It is better to die where you know the names of the trees and the birds and the grass than in a strange country. You will be number 128 in the body count for today. The high body count will make the leader of the free world very pleased. Well.